people will have a different phone number. They won't bother contacting me on Facebook, sending me personal emails, calling my number. If they have a phone number, and that phone number stays the same, then I don't have to worry about people taking over my week.
Well, I think that's the thing anybody's ever been a board member on this HOA. I mean, it's just a fact of the business, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, in the meantime, if you're getting too many, I mean, you can just refer them all to me, or Kim, or Jeff.
To me, a business should have a phone. Should have a website, should have an email address, and they should own and control it, in my opinion.
Well, how about if we do this? The board discussed this before, because we wanted, full engagement from the homeowners, and obviously we only have a handful of homeowners here. And I don't know, the board can correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember stating that if there was a difference or of direction that the HOA was going to take, we can call a special members meeting and have the homeowners decide. We can send out letters and do it. We can make it part of our annual meeting in May, because we're not going to have another election meeting. We decided that at the last meeting with the homeowners because we just had an election. So we're going to use that to update our bylaws. That decision can be made there, and it'll be the homeowner's decision as opposed to the board's decision.
Kind of like a poll to see what's wrong.
I'm trying to draw a picture. There's one phone. One person will have the phone, or several people have it.
It's just a number.
It's just a phone number.
Who's going to answer?
No one. You're going to leave a message.
Well, actually, we didn't make it go through
So you're
to
going to
some
leave a
of the
message,
numbers.
and that's it.
What?
You're not going to talk to a person.
Not immediately.
But you can. You can do that. If anybody actually wants to get calls anytime, day and night.
So you get all the phone calls now?
I get a lot of phone calls. I get a lot of text messages. I get emails.
I'm sorry.
We don't know who to call.
That's why it would be a good idea to have one phone. And let the board decide who's going to be monitoring the phone for that time.
You pass the phone around.
Yeah, so the way you think about it.
But wouldn't that become inefficient in a way? Because let's say I take this week, and then I'm taking calls that are supposed to go to Cassandra, I'm taking calls, then I got to channel them to Kim, then I got to channel to them, instead of just taking calls that's my area. Or Jeff just taking accounting calls, that's his area.
Sometimes we don't know if it's accounting or...
Right, or you just might have
Wouldn't
a
you
general
rather
question.
just be able to press 2 if it's an accounting issue?
What?
Wouldn't you rather just be able to press 2 on your phone if it's counting?
But is it going to go straight to Jeff?
Sure, we can make it go straight to Jeff anytime, day or night, or we can make it go for you.
Simplicity is the thing, right?
Just take it like a voice call.
With just a small.
The thing is, you can actually sit up in this house, all you care about is one phone.
Understand.
And that's all, I think you should want, and I think it should stay the same, and not change every other week or every new board.
Okay, well, I'm going to take a vote first. Okay.
I wanted to make a motion.
Well, the motion is technically only going to go to the board. I mean, what's your motion?
I
And then
want to table this discussion.
Pardon?
Until-
I would just like a show of hands.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
That's fine.
okay. This is a show of hands. This is non-binding, but it will be recorded in the minutes, Barbara. Okay, with the homeowner's response. How many are in favor of having one main central phone number? Raise their hand. And how many not in favor?
Regardless of cost, regardless of
2, 3.
configuration, regardless of features.
So there's only 3. What about the board?
I want to table this a lot.
Yeah, you want to table it.
How many is
Okay.
I feel like
So
we
I
can-
think
Okay, well,
Thank you.
How many members is a quorum? How many would it take to make a quorum?
for homeowners,
For homeowners?
20. 20, but we have to notify the entire
I know,
member.
Okay.
Okay, Kim has a motion to the board to table this discussion. I'm going to take a vote on that motion. Those in favor of tabling this discussion for now? Do you have a question, first, Jeff?
No.
Okay.
I didn't say for the
Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? So the vote is 3-1, Barbara, that we're tabling this for now.
And then will it be revisited?
Yes, that's what it means to table it. That we're going to revisit it in May, and before that?
But so it'll be revisited before May or before.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Or somewhere we can get, he does help. We gave that somebody from the board quick because we're getting too many telephone calls.
Well, I'm willing to take all the calls that Mark's getting, and texts. Just forward them to me. I don't mind at all.
So
And Kim doesn't mind. Jeff?
If it's a county matter, go ahead.
Yeah.
In fact,
Well, even if it's not, you just refer to the right person, refer.
and I mean, it's, we sent an email out to that effect, right? That's what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been taken.
I don't
In
think
fact-
we have one person all in control.
In fact, if it's okay, well, since we're on the subject, I had suggested, because an email got accidentally sent out saying that everybody owed $54 in dues. I addressed that at the beginning. So I don't know if everybody saw this on the board, but I suggested that we break into an executive session after this was over to discuss HOA communications, because we don't want to have to make that mistake again. And then the board can discuss it, if that's okay with y'all. We can further discuss that. Of course, the minutes will be recorded. We'll distribute the minutes of that meeting. We won't make any decision on the main number. We'll just further explore it, and then other communication issues. Is that okay with the homeowners? Okay, thank you. We got to finish up here. Oh, is that okay with the board?
Sure.
Mark, do you have time to break into an executive session afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Barbara already said she would. We're looking to set up a bylaw committee. Our bylaws haven't been updated since 1994. Some of them's not even relevant anymore because they're not up to state code. So we wanted to use, for those that were here, you heard this, but I'll repeat it. We want to use the May meeting, which is normally the election meeting, to have a homeowners meeting to update our bylaws. Because it can only be updated by homeowner vote. The board can't do it. We can do it, we can update it for new laws, but we can't make any other changes. So is there anybody here who's willing to be on a bylaw committee? Barbara? Kim? No. Okay, we'll put you down. Lana said she would be. You know.
I'll do it.
Kathy.
Nominated.
Susan? Irvin? No, I want to ask you a question. You know Lana, right?
Yes.
What's her last name?
She's not here, Sam.
Well, I know, but she volunteered last time, and I don't remember her name. That's what I was asking
It's
for.
in the minutes.
I was asking for her last name.
Had knee surgery.
So just put down Lana.
I'm not sure how much she puts on the active.
And then Kathy. Okay. Code enforcement. What did you want over it, or just?
These are housekeeping type things. This isn't discussion. We don't have any say over these things. Some things that were brought to my attention. So this is the definition of encroachment according to the city. I have it printed off right here. Encroachment shall mean any object, including a car, or structure or vegetation which obstructs or otherwise impedes or is likely to obstruct or otherwise impede the lawful passage of traffic, vehicular, and pedestrian over any street, alley, alley easement, utility easement greater than 10 feet in width, or sidewalk in the city. So our city council person and the code enforcement person drove through our neighborhood one day last week. They are going to begin to write citations for encroachment. If you're in your driveway and your car's hanging out over the sidewalk, they are saying, everybody that they looked at, that they saw, said there was at least 2 to 3 feet in front of their vehicles that they could have moved up and be fine. So I'm just warning everybody, this is not something we did, we asked for. This is something the city is doing.
This is the
Okay?
city.
The city, yes, sir. Okay, so now, this is talking about vehicles, unattended vehicles. We had a few in our neighborhood, and I did call or email our NPO, and he tagged a couple of them for attention. And apparently the owner of the vehicles have contacted either Sam, or actually the officer spoke to the owner of one of the vehicles. We have another one that for some reason we've had a miscommunication on, but if your vehicle is not legal to drive down our streets, you cannot park it in the common parking areas. You can park it in your driveway, and we're probably not going to do anything about that. That's not what we're talking about. We've got limited parking spaces for visitors and things like that, and we don't need your extra car sitting out there, or some strange person, I don't know, or car sitting out there. And so we have been contacting the city, and they're going to be taking care of those things. So,
This is for people that own their home and they just put the extra car, not in their driveway or garage, they just put it out in the visitors.
well, shouldn't.
It's gotta be legal,
I mean, it has to be currently in operable condition.
registered.
It means being capable of lawfully being operated on the streets and highways of this state, being currently registered with proper license plates displayed, having a current safety inspection, and being in running condition without the necessity of first being repaired, such as, but not limited to, the inflating of tires or charging of the batteries. That's the city's definition, but we can't have those sitting out around our neighborhood. We've got, our friends come over or whatever. People need to be able to park there. Whenever I have service people come to my house, they pull up in front of my house, I ask them to park in my driveway. If they don't want to park in my driveway, or their vehicle's too big, I send them to the end of the street. I don't want them in the street, because our streets are not big enough,
Sure enough.
wide enough for safe passage, and every street has no parking signs on the streets,
So many people just
yeah.
overlook
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
The no parking signs, the ones on our street, and I'm full agreement with you, but the ones on our street, you can't read the no parking.
Okay, I will contact the city. What street do you live on?
Santa Rosa, you can't even see it, so.
Yeah, I live on your street, so you're
Someone
right.
moving into the neighborhood wouldn't even know.
Even, the other day, I noticed there's a light on one of the signs, a little bitty tiny light, so I'm gonna ask them about it.
Yeah, ours are just so faded you can't even see it.
Okay, and one last thing. This is about animals. For an owner to keep an animal in such a manner that the animal, by its acts or conduct, exhibits dangerous propensities or creates a reasonable fear of bodily injury to neighboring persons of ordinary sensibilities, it's all unlawful. It shall be unlawful, and this is number 5 in this list. And then the other one, number 7, is for an owner to cause, suffer, or allow a dog to evacuate feces on a private or public place other than the property of the owner, and thereafter fail or refuse to remove and properly dispose of such waste. That's just a common courtesy, and I know probably none of us here are having this issue that we may be experiencing it, but we're not doing it. But just so that y'all know, this is the city, and we want to keep our neighborhood nice. So, these few little things, if we can, be mindful of them, it'll be very
the city requires your garbage cans to be put up at a certain time, right?
You know, I didn't look at that. I believe they do, but I didn't look at that one.
Oh, okay.
But, I can look at that if you want.
I honestly, boy,
I mean, it is nice to not have them out there, but.
not supposed to be visible from the street.
Did you mention anything about people that park in the street?
I did. There's no parking signs on every street
But do you know why?
because the streets aren't wide enough.
Emergency vehicles.
Well, yeah, because.
For a fire truck.
For emergency.
Violation of fire code.
Yeah. So, those are just some things that, I wanted to bring up and remind everybody. And then if y'all talk to your neighbors, tell them that I said it, and, you know, especially if you're having an issue with your neighbor, you can say, you know what they said at the meeting? Anyway, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions?
Any ideas of how to get rid of a possum?
They're really good for your neighbors. They really are. They kill snakes. They kill mice, rodents.
I think not, right?
I think you can set up traps.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah.
Well, the city will do that for you.
No, you have to get this trap.
I'll let you know this, if that possum bites your cat, it'll cost you about $500 of death.
Julie, you can contact the city or the animal shelter and go down and get a trap.
Oh, I have traps in my backyard, but this little sucker is smart.
Because if you don't do this anyway.
When did we send them out?
Wait, what?
When did we send out the notices?
For the meeting. Oh, wow.
Have we adjourned?
Check. No. I sent them out a while back. Well, while he's looking up that, is there anything anybody would like to see on agendas in the future that we haven't gone over? Okay, I guess we covered it.
Oh, you know what, sometimes there's an annual time when we have a garage sale. When is that?
Well, with the transition and everything, we actually haven't been able to address that yet.
Okay, I didn't know if that was, everybody.
Yeah, but that's something we want to bring back. I'm storing up stuff to sell. Yeah.
Can I see you for a second? When you're through with
It's after the board meeting.
Just have one quick question about the landscape.
Internet's running slow.
Did you say that they will plant grass in the residential yards?
Yes, if you don't have grass, we're going to, start fertilizing it.
Because I lost.
Yeah.
I think my sprinkler
When we
is
put
not
it,
working.
if you need soil, we can put in soil, fertilizing it, get grass to grow when there isn't.
Okay,
Yes,
they are.
yes.
Because I've got seed on it out there that it holds.
No question.
Yes, sir.
But I want you to know, what you're doing is being noticed. We really appreciate it. And I know it's like, it's God's email. I mean, Mark, I understand where it's coming from. Is your email on the list? But you are, we didn't have that before, we're having it. And you need to thank you.
I just want to say thank you all, and if there's anywhere, we can improve, we want the feedback. We're always open to constructive criticism, we want to improve. So I'm going to call, Barbara?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to call the meeting right now.
Adjourn.
Adjourn. Okay, thank you, Ken. Right, but you, all yours was Garland.
No.
Oh, I was talking about you in the middle of the sit. That's the one that,
Well, then maybe I'm wrong.
problems.
I was pushing this out here.
There's no way.
He didn't mention anything about traffic. He mentioned everything about cars hanging on.
Oh, I love that.
If I don't see it there, I'll contact you.
So it's like a plan.
I just like paying it forward.
No, that's good to know. Because we are planning on putting in, like, tables, you know, we're planning on putting in a playground that was presented at the last meeting. So,
And
so a lot of
we're
this,
gonna do something on that.
yeah, because we have a lot of good
Pay for that.